Oregon law provides that bicycles are vehicles. And what that means is that as a bicyclist, you're required to follow many of the same rules as motorized vehicles, including a law that trips some bicyclists up, because ORS 814.440 requires that a bicyclist provide turn and stop signals when they operate their bicycle on Oregon roadways.
A person commits the offense of failure to signal for a bicycle turn if the person does any of the following: stops the bicycle the person is operating without giving the appropriate hand and arm signal continuously at least 100 feet before executing the stop, or executes a turn on a bicycle the person is operating without giving the appropriate hand and arm signal for the turn for at least 100 feet before executing the turn.
The reason that's important is that sometimes a bicyclist will be operating their bike in every safe way, but a motorist will make a mistake, there's a collision, and later an insurance claims adjuster says that the bicyclist was violating Oregon law because they failed to signal a turn or a stop. So it's important that you know what your legal requirements are for when you're riding. So, well, first of all, you've got a little bit of a break in that bicycles are a little different from cars because sometimes you need to use both hands to operate the bicycle. So Oregon law, in the statute, in the Oregon Revised Statute, says that if both hands are necessary to have both hands on the handlebars, or if you're trying to brake or shift, for as long as it's necessary, you can put your hand and operate the bicycle, but as soon as you're allowed to take your hand off the handlebar so that you can signal, you must do so.
A person is not in violation of the signaling law under this section if the person is operating a bicycle and does not give the appropriate signal continuously for a stop or turn because circumstances require that both hands be used to safely control or operate the bicycle. For example, due to the hill, this cyclist needs to pause the signaling in order to brake effectively.
And you're required to signal a turn or a stop for 100 feet continuously before you make that move. So what that means is that if you're approaching an intersection and intending to turn or stop, you need to give a signal to the motorist for 100 continuous feet. And because bicyclists came around before motor vehicles were invented, you can make your turn not only the traditional way for a left turn, but for a right turn with a motorized vehicle, traditionally you'll put your hand up. But with a bicycle, since you won't be hitting your passenger in the face when you put your arm out.
Right! Oh, get out of here, you biker!
You can make a right turn this way or a right turn indicating this way. And for the bicycle to indicate a stop, you put your hand down. And for people who feel a little shy about showing the hand signals to motorists, the fact is that what it does is it helps to combat the urban deer phenomenon, where motorists kind of don't know what bicyclists are going to do. They think, are they going to go left? Are they going to go right? Are they going to jump on the hood of my car? What are they going to do? And you'll see that they have tremendous relief when we use the legally required signals, so that we let them know what we're going to do before we do it. So be safe out there and follow the Oregon Revised Statutes.
It's courteous and also safer to put your hand down for an unexpected stop, like this one caused by the pedestrian. Motorists have every right to get angry about this. Here's the same scenario, but played out in a much more pleasant manner. Here's a cyclist behaving erratically and illegally. He makes a quick, unsignaled left turn from the right side of the lane. Whereas here's an example of another pleasant interaction. Signal begun early, move to the left side of the lane, and smooth, predictable turn. For the full text of the statutes mentioned and much more information, go to Pedal Power, a legal guide for Oregon bicyclists.